So my name is Ian Ginn. I'm the host of Digital Talk. I'm delighted to have our guest, Nat-Sy, who is VP of Orange Energy's, leveraging connectivity, providing families, communities with sustainable clean power across Africa.
Did you know?
Stay tuned to the end of this podcast to find out how many people in Africa do not have access to energy. Welcome to the podcast, Nat-Sy.
Hello, Ian.
I want to just add to the point that I came across this great project because I was kindly invited to the Orange Open Tech by one of your colleagues called Alexis Kuala, for which I'm giving a nice shout out. So without that consequence or me by chance being there, I wouldn't have known about your great project, and it was great to meet your team. Do you mind just introducing yourself and your role in the organization?
All right. So as you just say, my name is Nat-Sy. I'm seated at Orange Africa, Middle East and Africa headquarters here in Casablanca, Africa. Yes, and we have around 18 countries in our organizations. So I'm leading this activity, trying to help people have access to electricity in all that countries, as we have been doing this for 6 years now. And before that, I was more trying to help Orange having access to renewable energy sources like solar for its own needs, and especially telecom towers. I had to invent new models like the ESCO model at that time, and now trying to apply what I learned from that period to people, to allow people to also have access to electricity.
Today's episode is sponsored by IFG Consulting Europe, who help operators to tap into technologies to accelerate digitization of the network, drive revenues, and reduce costs by championing promising software providers in telecoms, enterprise, and mobile markets. Go to ifgconsultingeurope.com to find out more.
So what's your personal journey in that sense? Because I think you were involved from almost the start, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, yes. We started this putting solar into telecom towers was a real challenge. And actually, Orange was a pioneer of that. And actually, it was me facing the issue we had at the time where we had a lot of electrical generators, diesel generators, and we wanted to remove them from our operations. But the cost of the solar system is quite high compared to an electric generator. Actually, to make a simple figure, when you buy an electric diesel generator, you just buy the genset and then you buy fuel as far as you are consuming. But when you buy a solar system, it is comparable to the fact that you buy a solar generator and you buy the fuel, enough fuel for 4 years of functioning. So this is a lot of money out at the beginning. And after 4 years, you have no more spending. But that amount of money that you have to pay upfront can prevent people from switching. A barrier, yes. Yeah. Can be a barrier, can prevent people from switching from fuel to solar. So we had to find some business kind of operations, so business models to
unlock the opportunity.
Yes, and that was, just putting. What we did is we agreed with solar suppliers to say, look, I will pay you every month the amount of fuel that I would have to spend if I was using a genset, minus a certain level of saving, but I commit to pay you this for 10 years. So this is the deal. So in this way, from the beginning, I'm making saving and I can acquire this system without having to pay this lot of money that was required if you had to pay your solar cash. So this is really what was at the beginning. And we now, after I've converted thousands of towers to solar for Orange, and also Yes, maybe in more than 8 countries. The point of time we decided to say if a company like Orange needs this kind of business models, people might also need this. So this is where I switch to turning to letting that business model accessible to populations and make possible for somebody to acquire a solar system without having to pay everything from the beginning.
So you were really leveraging your let's say the knowledge and the ecosystem you'd built. I guess it's an ecosystem of partners you'd built, and said, let's extend that idea and move it to the public. Would this be so? You were talking about the RAN sites originally, and moving from diesel to solar, which of course in itself is a win for the environment as well, right? Because you're keeping fossil fuels away, you're getting clean energy, if you like. So I think that's all plus. Now, I remember because we had a discussion the other day, and you're explaining it to me. If I remember, there's two also, and I think this is where we're going with the conversation. Help me on this. Is you said you also have entrepreneurs who maybe can also buy gen sets and then provide the community. And then you also have maybe consumers themselves. Can you want to explain a little bit more how that works?
Yeah. Actually, the base principle is really that accessibility of to make solar accessible to people. And this is the case when you have your own house isolated and you have no other choice and you go for that. But in some circumstances, you can be actually in living in a dense enough place where instead of having your solar solution just for you, you can have more benefits, actually scale effect benefits if you have connected to a bigger system that can provide the solar for an entire community. And then the developer of that big system needs to be reinsured in the fact that he will be able to have monthly payment from his customers for his system. And actually, I have not said it before, but everything that we are doing is about putting a platform, actually a digital platform that allows to supervise the monthly payment made by the people. I come back to the case where you have the installation, your private installation in your own house. I was saying that you would pay small monthly fees equivalent to what you would be spending for site. And then in order to do that, so we have an integrated platform where you use mobile money to make that payment, keep track of everything. And when you are late for a payment, we send you SMS to remind you. And if you don't react, we send a signal to the system saying shut down because the guy is not paying. So this is providing security to the manufacturer and this applies also to bigger system. I was mentioning mini grids, the big system you can build for an entire community. We do the same. We have smart meters, connected meters, and same mechanism. You pay monthly. You are informed if you are late in any payment, and if you don't pay, the technology, what we call Orange Smart Energy, send a signal to your box saying shut down for a while. And this is not an issue, actually. No, it's not finished. It's just the beginning of it because maybe you just forgotten and you are watching your movie, everything stop. You just take your phone with 2 clicks, tack, 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 automatically everything goes up again. No need to send nobody on site and
But you bring me to an interesting point, which I also remember you mentioning, which was it's to do with by paying, right? Those people are paying, which means that people can invest again and paying. So isn't there a number? I'd like you to share the number of in Africa. Like I think a lot of electricity is not being paid, right? I seem to remember that was part of the problem statement. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can ask you a question. So for you, how many people in Africa does not have access to energy? Is that 10 million, 600,000 million, 0, 300,000?
So
What would you say?
So as we had a pre-call, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here because you were very clear. You said energy itself is not the problem. That's what you said to me. You said it's like being able to access it and pay for it, I think, was more of the problem. So I think have I sort of am on the right track here?
Tell a figure. What is
No,
the figure
am on
that
the
you have
right track?
chosen?
So the figure is, I
Absolutely,
think
absolutely.
you're saying zero. Actually, zero have energy, but everyone has energy, but it's a question of having it sustainable and clean and let's say more modern, not fossil fuel, because you basically are saying your and the baseline in which you do your calculation, which I really love, and the business case, which of course translate it into a language that the people you're trying to convert understand, is you say, look, your bill on fossil fuel is X per month, right? So if I can give this to you at a slightly lower rate or 10-20% cheaper, but by the way, you're going to get clean energy or whatever, is that a good deal? And I think if I understood correctly, that's sort of how you position the.
You are perfectly right, Jan.
I do
And
listen sometimes, but don't ask
the
my
good
wife. She says I never listen, but that's another matter.
the good figure is zero because everybody has access to energy. Actually, the humankind discovered fire. See, some times ago, humankind is living with energy. But what kind of energy? And this is fossil, I just say. And actually, the World Bank has made a study and is saying, on average, people are spending around $15 per month when they are using fossil, equivalent of by using wood, by using candles, by using petrol for
We also have coal in our
coal,
coal, yeah.
yes, and maybe petrol for lamps, gas.
Yeah.
Actually, some people are pretending gas is clean now, but okay, this is another question. But this is fossil. And actually, sometimes people say, oh, you will propose your solution, but people are too poor, they cannot afford. Today, they are spending more. They are spending more than what they would spend if they was just able to use sun. Sun is free, but you need an equipment to transform it into electricity. Once you have the equipment, you are all set. You are done. And the solar panel lasts for 20 years, 20 to 30 years, the solar panel itself. But if you want to use sun during the night, you need something additional. You need a battery to store your electricity during the day and to use it during the night. Then the battery, it's a portion that limits the usage because if you want to use the battery, you can use it maybe for 7, 8 years. So you have a system that can help you really have access to electricity and make a good saving if you have, if you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So who is actually, I mean, I think you mentioned some numbers. You say you're already providing the service in 8 of the countries. How many people have you connected then? Or how do you count it? How do you do, is it communities, houses, people? What's the numbers behind it?
Okay, today we are, yes, we have more than 400,000 houses with a solar solution from our partners, in which we have put the digital solution that allows fragmented payment, and then they are using it. And when you say a household in Africa is around, yes, maybe on average 5 people. So it's a quite a good figure, but actually it's almost nothing because, the number of people not having access to electricity was 2 years ago around 600,000 from the calculation of the World Bank, but now this year it has increased because the demography goes faster than the the disposal of actually the than the solutions coming into the ground. So we are doing, I believe, good, but actually far less than what should be required to solve the issue.
So how are you going to accelerate it, or how are you going to? I mean, this podcast itself, hopefully, listeners are listening, and if they want, I mean, we're more than from podcast perspective, happy to connect people with you if they go, oh, that's a nice thing I'd like in my country. So I guess if they're distributors or entrepreneurs in those countries. But I have one question before you answer that. In English we say, and in French I imagine very similarly, you have what came first, the chicken or the egg? In a situation you have the same. So did Orange mast and RAN and connectivity come first, or did the energy come first, right? So in the sense of what came first, the Orange communication network, or the power? Because without the power, you can't have the network, and vice versa. Has anyone asked you that one before?
This is interesting. Actually, what came first? It is really easy. What came first was the fossil-based electricity,
Okay, true.
because this is cheap enough at the beginning. You don't have to make a lot of investment, and you can have it. And then you are polluting everything. You are spending actually a lot of money all of the time. But at least you have connectivity. And then, based on that connectivity, what we have done at telco operators is we have built mobile money. And mobile money is a true revolution because it allows people to exchange virtual money without having to. And actually, when inventing mobile money, what we really invented is a risk reduction. Because when you don't have mobile money, what you have to do, if you have to pay somebody, you have to take your wallet with how do I say it in English? With some money, some physical
Coins?
money
Do you mean
inside, not
coins?
not coins, but the one
Notes.
notes. Yes, you have to take notes, and you have to go out, and you don't know who you will meet during the road. And this is really, and with mobile money, you just put this virtually on your telephone. You don't even have to go there. You just send it, and the guy have it. So we have reduced risk with mobile money. And this is
creating, and convenience. It's also convenient.
And convenience and stuff. And I think this is what technology brings. So I remember we are on the digital focused podcast here. For me, at the end, when you have a digital solution, if you look at some place, there is convenience or risk that has been reduced, or convenience that has been increased. This is what we do with mobile money. Maybe I continue with extrapolation. If you take, for example, Uber services, I was thinking why I am happy when my daughter goes out and at 2 a.m. in the night, she tells me, Dad, I'm entering the Uber. Be relaxed. You can go to bed, because I know she's safe. I know the name of the guy. I know everything, and I can see her riding back and actually that application has reduced this kind of uncertainty when you have to take public transportation. Digital solution brings risk, and it is not different for what we do with Orange Energy. We reduce risk because once we have mobile money, I come back to answer your question. Once you have mobile money, we can make settlements that I was explaining to you using mobile money. And then we can have access to clean energy because it becomes affordable. And then we can fuel that clean energy into our digital telecommunication tower. It is now clean, and we can even charge our phone with clean energy, and then use that phone to make payments with mobile money, and then be able to pay settlements for our clean energy. And then I don't know where the loop stops.
Continues. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You got it.
And then you lose where is the chicken and where is the egg. But actually, I think it started with fossil.
It started with fire again, as you said.
With fire again. And if I continue, for this risk reduction, because did you know that around 40% of electricity consumed today in Africa is not paid? And for me, this is the real reason why there is that lack of coverage on the ground. Because who would invest to provide electricity to people and without being paid? State-run companies, they need to have fuel to invest into the network, to invest into deployment. And if the money is not entering, this really stops everything. So there is a lot of risk. And we really believe that technology must be a solution to reduce that risk of not being paid when somebody consumes electricity. And what I explained for mini grids, for community solutions, where we make sure that people are paid, we also propose this to national utilities, saying to them, put this system in place. You will be sure that you will reduce the level of unpaid bills, and then this will be beneficial for the entire country because now you will have enough money to invest into the network, and everybody will be happy.
Would I be right in saying, and hopefully you'll indulge me on this one, from an Orange perspective, there's lots of wins in this cycle, right? As you say, you've got the customers are using the Orange service, I guess, right? They're happy because they've got electricity for lighting, but also other things like you see TV, fridges, their lifestyle changes, the quality of life improves. I think you mentioned, if I remember correctly, you mentioned about, which I thought was interesting, it gets pretty dark out there, right? If there's no electricity after whatever time you can't study. You were mentioning about if in the evening, if it lengthens the time which people can be active, let's say, and learn. Like if they learn more, then they're, hopefully do better jobs. And it's a spiral. We're talking about the loop continuing. And of course, if you have customers who are, let's say, richer, cleverer, whatever, you have better customers, which again help Orange. So you really you're fueling, to use the word energy and fueling, you're fueling society with a very, I think what I like about it is, and on one side, it is simple, in a way, but actually the impact is huge. So can I come on to a question, which is, it sounds a great operation. It sounds like it's doing well. What next? And how can you get another 2 million people to take on this solution? What's the plan? What's the big
I
idea?
really want to comment on what you've just said. I really, we are a company, but we are an African company and we are African. And it is not about helping people from remote. It is about ourselves, and really this is our positioning. We want to bring solutions for, that are essential for living, and everything that is essential, we want to be helping on this. And this is it has, sorry, it has the financial benefit, it is beneficiary financially speaking, but this is, for me, it is more to sustain the services that we are providing. Because if you want that services to last long time enough, you need the system to be beneficial. If not, the company will stop and nobody will benefit from the system. But really, it's about doing a social thing. And I'm really, really happy. I think I'm lucky to have the chance to do this kind of job where the impact on people's lives is really concrete, and you can feel it, you can test it. I remember the man hair, I don't know how you call it, hairdresser, somebody who
Hairdresser?
cuts hairdresser, yeah,
Coiffeur in French, no?
coiffeur. Yes,
Coiffeur,
we say
coiffeur.
coiffeur. In a small village. Actually, he used to do his job using scissors and stuff. So he was doing well. But he explained to me that at the end of the day, when you do this, your hands is hurting. Yes, because it's and so yeah, all of the time. And so he had the possibility to take just a few number of uh, of people in the day. So we came with a dedicated solar solution with two
They're razors or whatever.
razors. Yes, two razors,
Yeah.
3 lamps, one fan to make
Yeah.
and a radio. And he put it, and he did not have to pay for the solution upfront because there is this settlement that we are putting using our Orange Smart Energy solution. So he explained to me that just totally changed his life because now from what he's producing every day, he can make his daily or monthly payment, but he can do a lot more customer per day. So he increases his revenue. He's really saying that this thing changed my life. And yeah, I remember, yeah, he showed me, I remember yes, every time I think of this, okay. He went and showed me his motorbike, saying, "Look, this motorbike is dedicated to Orange because it is with Orange that I have been able to buy it. With this increase of revenues that I had using my hair, the guy is living in close to Divo in Ivory Coast. Yeah, this is really about making concrete things that can change life and not only consume, but also being able to gain some money to run a business using that energy.
Do you know it's really impactful, as you say? Do you think that he, at the time when you provided the solution, realized the impact it would have? Or only because later on it took some time for him to realize it? I mean, how
When I remember another lady. This was in Congo. We brought to her a freezer. The lady is running actually, we call it, actually it's a bar where people can have drinks and stuff. It's quite hot in equatorial Africa. You have sun every day. So at the beginning, she was saying, "Oh, anyway, I have my solution. I can have some ice. I buy some block of ice every day and I put it on the box and I put and I don't really need, but okay, if you want, I can try this." When we came back 3 weeks later after the experiment, she did not want to give
go
back
back? Yeah, okay.
our equipment because she said, "I have made my calculation. Buying ice, go take them and all the logistic and stuff cost me how much did she say? She was saying it was costing her quite a lot. I think it's not $200 per month or something like that. Yeah, at the end. And he say, with your solution, it is working. It is quiet, no logistics. And she gave the name to the freezer. She said, this freezer, I will call it Moise. I don't know if you know it's Moise. Moses in the Bible. Moses. She's calling this freezer Moses. This is my Moses, and you will
Okay.
not take my Moses because you know now when I have customer coming, I cannot see the customer going back because the drinks are not cold enough. When the drink is not cold enough, I'm losing money.
Yeah.
I need this. This is really important, and I need it day and night. Yeah. So at the beginning, they might not realize, but after quite fast, they see the difference. And this is why you was asking me, I did not answer, but I did not forget your question. What next? So for me, this is kind of exponential, because you need to show first what is the advantage. And for this, you need some people to try, and then the word of speech will make his effect.
Word of mouth, right? Word of mouth. And then the lady who's got the freezer, her friend goes, "Where's my freezer?"
Absolutely this. Absolutely this. And I can really I can really assess this because, when I look at the figures for over the 6 years, every year we have exactly doubled the number of new customers.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yes, this is what we do. So thank you for the congratulations. It is not enough, but it is kind of acceleration. And what maybe we will need soon is, to have maybe more participation of funds, DFIs or others, because when you do the settlement payment, you have some working capital needs because yes, people are paying over maybe on average 2 years. So you have some working capital, some money which is out. And the more customer we will have, and the more working capital it will require, especially for the equipment manufacturers, because they have to be patient. And yeah, so this is where I think at the point of time, yes, we need to.
I fully understand, and it makes total sense. The working capital has to, as you're growing double, you also need to increase the working capital, and as I say, actually a long-term project for everyone involved, right? The payback's not
Mhm.
immediate, but it's great. So you mentioned yourself that I feel it from speaking to you from the heart. Basically, you emotionally obviously attached to the project. If we go back to, as I say, you mentioned a multiplier effect, meaning that word of mouth, get it out there, get some people trying it, makes perfect sense. But Are there any other barriers to growth? You mentioned capital as well, but anything else? Is it governments that need to change their attitude, do you feel? Is it cultural? Is it I don't know, political? Is there anything else that you feel is holding this whole project back?
I think everything that you mentioned has its role to play. But if I just take on the experience I have, what I will say the key words is about proximity. You know, you need to be, as always, close to your customer. And this is not just a slogan. This is not just about, small talk. It's what makes the difference. At the beginning, because you understood that people you put the material on somebody's house, and he has to make settlement. And the worst thing, the thing that you would not have, you would not want, and this is why we built all that technology and stuff, is somebody who stopped to make his settlement. So we had it at the beginning, and this is maybe the most important issue in the in this business is the risk of somebody stopping to pay. So relying at the beginning, we was relying just on this technology, saying with SMS, with a phone call to the one who is not paying, with the ability to shut down the system from remote, everything will work fine. The repaid. It's not exactly working like that. But we made at the time a campaign to talk to the one customer who stopped paying, asking why they did. And I even went, it was I think in Guinea, Conakry, I went there to go and meet a customer who had stopped paying, just to understand. And then when I came there, I said, "Oh, you have yes, Orange Energy. You have a kit that was brought to you by us, but I see you have not been using it for 7 months. What's going on?" So yes, I have a kit here, but I believe it is not working. Okay, it is not working. Okay, no worries. Maybe we will take it back. But we have very good partners, so I can. So we are working with the best. We have no exclusivity, and we work all with the best manufacturer. People like in that case, it was I think it was Sun King. I can mention their name. Hopefully, they will be happy. And I know Sun King is very good quality, and really, it's really almost never no failure. So I said, okay, give me then the solar kit. We will see it. Yeah, I saw it. I said, where is the solar panel? So the solar panel was still on the heat and everything. I said, okay, maybe we try to branch, and so we just make the connection. And the solar kit was showing it was full. Actually, the battery was fully charged and everything and ready to work. I say okay, and the customer said, "Look, yeah, I have this green flash, but nothing. The TV is not coming up." And then you said, "But you know that you have to make a payment using mobile money." Okay, so we made it for him. And then you have to receive a code and with the code, you have to type the code because his system was a whole system where you have to type the code. Now our new system, the code is just thrown by the air. And then we type the code and everything pops up. And you cannot imagine at the same time, the railroad, this is true. This is a true story. EDG, Électricité de Guinée, power shortage at the exactly same time. And the guy is running actually, I think it was a place where people was making paris en jeu. They're playing, they're making bets on the games. So, and they are watching the houses, on the horses in France. The horses racing, and they are making bets on horses racing. This was his business. Power cut from EDG. So it was a disaster. And by chance, we was there and we just branch his satellite device on the box and then was about to see again the horse's course. So I come back to the initial question, why that guy stopped paying? Just because nobody came to visit him or he didn't have somebody close to him that he could call to say, I don't understand. How do I make this payment? How do I enter this? And he just gave up. He have other thing to do. So proximity is the key thing. So you need to be close to your customers, understand what they need, provide them with what they have. I think with this, you have good payments. If you have good payments, you can have some people to put money in it because they are reinsured. And when you have people putting money in it, they can influence on government laws, anything preventing. And yeah, begins with appropriate service.
Yeah, appreciate. I think one thing you talked about de-risking it, and I imagine a question to you as well, and it is a loaded question because of who you work for, as we say in English. I mean, imagine the brand Orange carries weight as well. I mean, in the sense that, you're not a known name who goes there and says, we're setting this up. The people recognize in the community you're trusted. So that also, I think, not just to the customer, but also the supply chain, you have enough reputation that you are able, your say your size, strength, reputation brought the whole thing together, that you created this bonding trust end to end. Do you think that's also a part of the story?
Absolutely. I know, I'm lucky because I am kind of entrepreneur, but hidden in a really protective organization and with a name that allows me to be listened by almost everybody in the ecosystem. And if I had to do that by myself, I don't know, with just my name, I don't know if I would be, I think I'm pretty sure that it would have been really more difficult. So this is why using this, what we are trying to build. So maybe I must go further here. What we do at the end, what we really do is we negotiate with manufacturers saying you will have a bigger reach for your product if you sell them on settlements. And we are the technical solution, the technology solution to help you do the settlements. This increases your fishing pool. And on the other hand, we go to small distributors who live close to population in villages. We call them canopé in French. And we say to them, we know that you don't have the negotiation power. You don't have even the buying power to buy a lot of stock in advance. We provide you with the material, with the stock. We have negotiated with the manufacturer to have no upfront payment, and we make them benefits from that negotiation at also zero cost. And they provide it to their neighbors, to their friends in the city, in the village, actually to the people living around them. And then when that end person realize that he's making saving using the solution, if it comes to pay, and it is only at that time that everybody down the chain is paid. First, the one living close to him, and then us, and then the good manufacturer. We have that advantage of being Orange, but we don't want to keep it just for us. We really believe that this can accelerate, and what we are encouraging is this entrepreneurship creation in close location to population, because we really believe it is that proximity that helps ensuring the service working properly and people will really pay at the end of the story.
Okay. So I want to come back to the question of the future. And you said you've doubled every year. So that means next year, 800,000 homes, right? Is that a realistic aim?
Yes, this is the target.
So we will revisit this next year, and you'll vouch for the 800,000. How many? Do you actually question? You asking me a question? Maybe I shouldn't ask this, but I will. How many houses are in Africa? I mean, how many? What's the size of the market again? What percentage? You said 400,000 is what you've supplied. What is the potential, you think? The fishing pond, as you call it.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we are not present in entire Africa. We are not present in the 52 countries of Africa.
52. Wow.
We are just present in 18 countries and 12 in sub-Saharan Africa.
Right.
So I made the calculation for that portion. It's around 35 million houses that are totally out of the grid.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So this is a lot.
Yeah. So there's a bit of work to be done.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you are doing amazing things, as we discussed, and we always give our guests, as we're a positive podcast, to give the people the opportunity to give a shout out to either a community or individual people or institutions who they think are worth sharing and celebrating. Have you got someone or something in particular you want to have a shout out for?
This is not an easy question because I think God has helped me a lot. But if you want to have an individual, I think, yes, I am lucky, and this is a chance that has been given by both God, and also He has used. Maybe the first one was a lady called Benedict David. I don't know if she will listen to this anytime.
Well, we'll try and find her and suggest she listens.
Yeah, she's working for Orange, and she was, manager director at that time. She had to make a choice, and really, she saw in me a potential because, I was coming from a really technical background, and nobody was thinking that I would have been able to do business for people. There is this kind of separation between technical guys and business guy. And she made the bet. She said, come with me. If you need anything, I will help you. But I believe with your knowledge and your passion of Africa and your ideas, we can do something together. And this was, yes, 10 years ago. And if I want, yes, to thank somebody, I would say, merci, Benedict David.
That's a wonderful shout out. I like that one, indeed. Yes, we will, one way or another, and we'll try and see if she listens to the story. And she's helped, she's inspired you, and look what you've done. So you've done some great things. Having said that, again, you are now part of the Digital Tel Talk family. And it's been a great pleasure to find out about the Orange Energies story and how you're basically providing the communities with great connectivity and also clean energy as well, making their lives better, which is a laudable thing. So thank you very much for being on my podcast.
Thank you, Jan. Really, it was a pleasure for me to join you and to share this Orange Energies story.
Did you know?
The answer to this extraordinary question is that, as you've heard from the podcast, everyone in Africa has access to energy. It's a second question how the energy is delivered, with fossil fuel using fire being the baseline. What's transpired now with the electricity being able to be delivered, that people spend less on electricity than they would if they had to use alternative fossil fuels today, which hopefully is of benefit to society, providing clean energy going forward. If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to rate us and subscribe, and feel free to follow us on LinkedIn. And if you have comments or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email. Thanks for being part of the Digital Talk community and for listening. Stay tuned.